But breaking moments ago, bombshell news. Pleas have been entered in the New York Attorney General's indictment of the Trump Organization and their chief financial officer, Allen Weisselberg. Indictments that were handed down yesterday and unveiled just this morning. The Trump Organization and its longtime finance chief, Allen Weisselberg, each pleaded not guilty to charges arising from an investigation into former President Donald Trump's company. According to the indictment filed Wednesday and unveiled this morning, Weisselberg and the company conspired to pay senior executives off the books. President Trump himself, who was not charged at this stage of the investigation, has been jointly pursued by Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance and New York Attorney General Letitia James, both staunch Democrats. Prosecutors claim politics had no role in these indictments, saying, quote, "Politics has no role in the jury chamber, and I can assure you it had no role here." Really, prosecutors, no political agenda at all? You could have fooled me. Listen to the New York State Attorney General in her own words, and you decide, folks, for yourself if this was political.
I say one name, Donald Trump. That should motivate you. Stop your vote.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the He's going to know my name personally.
Running for Attorney General because I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president when our fundamental rights are at stake.
We need to focus on Donald Trump and his abuses. We need to follow his money. We need to find out where he's laundered money. All of those transactions have happened here in New York City.
But the AG wasn't done there. On other occasions, Letitia James continued to foreshadow what she wanted to happen in her courtroom, by the way, before ever hearing any facts about the case. Listen.
Legal system where even the most powerful in the country cannot use a loophole to evade justice. We must do our job to ensure that the man currently occupying the Oval Office is held accountable to any and everything he has done.
Wow. Not only does this sound political, Attorney General James, it's beginning to sound a lot like some sort of personal vendetta. For the Newsmax exclusive and first reaction from the Trump family, let's bring in Eric Trump. Eric, thank you for joining us. So, not political, they say. They're saying it's not political. What say you?
Eric, I'm so glad you played those clips. I mean, those clips say it all. My father and our family have been under attack from the day he went down that escalator. We have. You saw it all. You've covered it all, right? Whether it be kind of Russia, whether it be Ukraine, whether it be the impeachment #1, the impeaching the man after he had already left office. They were never able to get anything. Mueller spent $50 million. They tracked my father down. They went through every tax return of his, every transaction he had ever done, everything he had ever said. They went after him, and they went after him, and they couldn't find anything. And, now it's, New York State, you do the same thing. And, Eric, they've spent literally 4 years. They've gone through 3.5 million pages of documents. They went and they subpoenaed every tax return from my father, literally today and 2005. I mean, they've gone back 15, 16 years in terms of subpoenaing tax returns. They've gone through 3.5 million pages of documents. And what do they have? What do they have after all of that? Absolutely nothing. They have a corporate car and a fringe benefit. I mean, it is disgusting. And Eric, I'm a New Yorker, and I'm almost sad to see it because the Democrats have absolutely ruined the state. Last week, a little girl got shot in Times Square, and this is their priority. You have a Marine that got shot yesterday in Times Square, and this is their priority. Everybody's fleeing the state. New York is dangerous. I just left New York a little while ago. The graffiti coming out of the city is out of control. The place is dirty. It's dangerous. Everybody's leaving. The place is totally vacant in terms of tenants. You walk up Madison Avenue, there's no one even there. People don't want to be in the state. They're taxing people to death, right? I mean, the state is falling apart under Cuomo and these political prosecutors. And what is their focus? Putting their entire office into going after a guy that was a phenomenal president of the United States, attacking his family, attacking his company, attacking a great man, Allen Weisselberg. He's a phenomenal, phenomenal man. Going after political adversaries. That's what these people are doing as little girls are getting shot in the middle of Times Square. And Eric, it has to stop. I mean, people are losing faith in the justice system in this country, in the court of law. People are losing faith. because they're seeing people weaponize politics. And you know what? I hope the other side doesn't do it back, because what that will start in this country is something that will never be reversed.
Let's take a look at, I read what the accusations were, Eric, and I got to be perfectly honest with my audience. They look like BS. I cannot believe, and we need to point out, aside from the fact that Letitia James for years has been saying she's going to go after the Trump family, which precedes any sort of action, so she doesn't even know facts. So she's almost saying, I have the conclusion, now I got to go find the facts to support it. What really bothers me, Eric, not the fact that it's chicken feed, these accusations, the fact that they turned it from a civil proceeding to a criminal proceeding, which means under civil penalties, they're money. You shouldn't do this, and we're going to fine you. Criminally, they're actually looking for some jail time of Allen Weisselberg. It blows me away for things that you point out, things that probably 80 or 90% of the corporations in this country do.
Eric, never in the history of the DA's office or the Attorney General's office have they ever gone after a person for fringe benefits, employment benefits. You know, I'll have you remember, this is the same DA's office that in 2008, when you had people at some of the biggest banks in the country that were literally shorting subprime mortgages while at the same time going off and selling them to retirement plans and people all over the country, right? So the same people who were selling them, saying what a wonderful product was, on their own books were shorting them. They caused an entire collapse of our financial system, and not a single one of those people got charged. This is trillions and trillions of dollars worth of financial fraud that literally took down the U.S. economy, you know, almost took down the worldwide economy. They didn't charge a single person, yet Allen Weisselberg, a corporate car, it's a disgrace. It is absolutely disgusting. They know my father, you know, is thinking about running in 2024. I know what my father wants to do. They want to do anything they can to disqualify him. They've been running under the platform. They've been fundraising off of going after my father for years. That's a major, major ethical violation. I mean, you saw Letitia James's own words. It's disgusting. They ruin lives every single day. And I don't know why anybody in this country would want to be in New York. I don't know why any business would want to move into New York State when this is what they do. They weaponize politics for their own political purposes. And it's disgusting. It's un-American. Sometimes I think we live in a third world country. This should not happen in the greatest country in the world. And frankly, it shouldn't happen in the greatest city in the world. And sometimes I doubt that it is anymore when you see actions like this.
You know, Eric, and again, I'm not an accountant here, so the Trump organization spends money to provide perks to bring in higher level executives, and that's very common. Corporations do that. I do not see how the Trump organization is even included in this indictment. If you want to indict Allen Weisselberg and kind of scare him and lean on him to see if he'll say something that'll further open a case into the Trump family or President Trump or the organization, that's a tactic that's very commonly used on all levels of law enforcement. I get that, but what is the basis for the Trump organization spending money that's off the bottom line? You're not saving any money in taxes by spending money to entice a corporate executive to work harder.
Yeah, well, I think you said it right. I mean, listen, this wasn't their goal, Eric. You know what their goal was. Their goal was, you know, my father. They went through 3.5 million pages of documents, every tax return he had ever had. They went through every financial deal that he had ever done, and they couldn't find anything. You think if after going through 3.5 million pages over 4 years, they found a single thing on Donald Trump, you think they'd be going after Allen Weisselberg? Of course not. They'd be going after Donald Trump. And guess what? After all that time, they found nothing. You know why? Because there is nothing. We're a really, really good company. We're the best in the world at what we do. We run amazing golf courses, and we run some of the best hotels on earth, and we run great commercial buildings. But, you know, we have a great company with amazing people, hardworking, dedicated people who just want to go to work every single day, you know, work hard and make a great living, accomplish something beautiful, don't want to get wrapped up in politics, don't want to get wrapped up in nonsense. But these people can't help themselves. They do this for their own, you know, politics. You have a DA who's a failed DA.
It strikes me, Eric, that at some point, I don't know if Allen Weisselberg will go to court, if he's going to cut a deal or not, but it strikes me, or maybe the Trump organization, you know, there's something called prosecutorial misconduct. I mean, I just don't see what anyone what the organization has done unless they're not telling us something else. Very, very fair question here, Eric. Are you concerned that they may send an indictment your way, your brother's way, or your sister's way?
You know what, I'm not, Eric, because guess what? You know, we've always lived amazingly clean lives, and believe me, if they could have, they already would have, right? I mean, that's what they wanted. That was their end goal. You know, the difference is I'm not Hunter Biden. I'm not selling paintings to undisclosed people for $500,000 a piece. I'm not doing, you know, drugs in shady hotels. I'm not going out and soliciting prostitution, and I'm not going out and, you know, selling influence to Ukraine and China and having lavish trips paid for while, you know, my father's commander-in-chief. No, I'm not doing that. You know what we do? Don, Ivanka, and I live really, you know, nice, clean lives, and we work very, very hard. And guess what? Long before politics ever came into, you know, our lives, we were in the business world, and we were successful, and we worked very hard, and we lived clean lives. And it was very different than the Bidens, who were never in business until their father actually got into politics, and they've milked it for everything it's worth, and they still do it to this day. And, you know, Eric, where's the DA there? You know, when you have text messages of prostitutes and hard drugs and money laundering and all these other things that are on Hunter Biden's laptop that have been reported, you know, apparently reported so many different times, where's the district attorney and where is the attorney general? And do the scales of justice only go one way? And I'm asking that. That's a rhetorical question. Of course they do.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say that may be a rhetorical question. Erica, just very quickly before we're going to lose your time, CNN law contributor Jeffrey Toobin called it this small potatoes type stuff. Jonathan Turley, well-respected legal scholar, said this is probably what he quotes a trophy kill case, meaning the Trump organization or a Trump being the trophy. Michael Cohen is out there on CNN just ripping you guys, saying it's all true. But I will finish with this. I want to pay more taxes, said nobody ever. Eric Trump, we really appreciate your time, and we'll stay on top of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.